一体どうしようこの想いをどうしよう泡の奥をザラメが溶けて黒になりそう
2025 was an amazing year for J-pop, and today I'm ranking my personal top 10 songs of the year that have become timestamps of my life in 2025. Number 10, Fix by Brandy Senki. The 10th spot is probably the hardest one to pick because there are just way too many songs worthy of being in my top 10. But ultimately, it just feels wrong not to include my personal band of the year, Brandy Senki. They only made their major debut in 2025, but they have been one of the most anticipated up-and-coming bands for a few years. And their self-titled debut album did not disappoint. The album includes a few single releases before 2025, so I couldn't pick them for this video. And that narrows it down to Fix. It's a song about a girl stuck in a relationship with no future. But instead of moving on, she keeps trying to find all the silver linings, no matter how trivial they may be. On top of the lyrics, the greatest feature of the song is its guitar. It begins with an acoustic guitar, then hits you with a sudden switch to electric as the song enters the chorus, reflecting the girl's emotions. Number 9, Kaiju by Sakanakshon. Sakanakshon is a Japanese rock band known for their nostalgic alternative music. They're not very well known internationally as they've only released their first anime song in 2025, which happens to be Kaiju, the theme song of Orb, and one of the biggest Japanese songs of the year. The lead singer of Sakanakshon, Yamaguchi Ichiro, has been suffering from different kinds of illnesses and conditions for over a decade, which led to depression and him taking a break from 2022 to 2023. Kaiju, which was released in early 2025, is actually the band's first song since his return, so it's actually a really meaningful song for him personally. And if you're familiar with gaming, the music video of the song is heavily influenced by the viral horror game, The Exit 8. Number 8, Yankee by AO. AO is a band built for success, formed in 2023 by 4 established musicians: the lead singer, Ishino Riko, also the former lead singer of Akai Koen, the guitarist, Suri, a popular vocal producer who has worked with artists such as Ado, the bassist, Yamamoto Hikaru, also a supporting member of YOASOBI, and the drummer, Tsumiki, a talented songwriter behind this massive hit. You don't ever see a newly formed band with this much pedigree. Sure enough, they made their major debut and went on their first tour in 2024, performed at almost every rock festival in 2025, and released Yankee. There's nothing deep about this song, just an absolute banger. From its lyrics to instrumentation and production, the sole objective of the song is to slap. And mission accomplished. Number 7, Kissing the Machine by Minami. Minami is a really interesting case. She burst onto the scene back in 2019 with a massive hit, Crying for Rain, making her one of the hottest names on the internet during COVID. However, she is not the most efficient songwriter, with only 2 EPs under her belt so far, and only 4 single releases since 2024. But man, is her song worth the wait. If we're only speaking of vocal performance, Minami's Kissing the Machine is probably the best on this list. Her ability to convey so much emotion through her voice has always been her trademark, but she really outdid herself this time. Number 6, Usui by Joji. When you've spent 5 minutes listening to a song, but feel like you've just seen a movie, you know there's something special about that song. Or in this case, Usui. Joji is another up-and-coming singer who has just released his first album in 2025. His talent is undeniable, but what I love about him the most is his mentality. During an interview, he said that in the age of streaming, obviously it would be nice to have international listeners, but instead of catering to them and twisting his music to a Western sound, he wants to create music and lyrics that he feels are uniquely Japanese. So you can hear a very strong influence from traditional Japanese music in many of his songs, while rarely finding any English lyrics. He respects the artists who make music with Western audiences in mind, but he also believes that even with cultural barriers, people can still appreciate music that is unapologetically Japanese. Number 5. Myakuhaku by Rokudenashi.
今君の顔
Rokudenashi should be a familiar name among J-pop fans ever since their song One Voice went viral on social media across Asia in 2021.
愛を一つまたねまたね夜に咲く温度と灯るまで
Their music in general is soothing and refreshing thanks to the lead singer, Ningjing's voice, and the consistent direction by the many Vocaloid producers who have worked on the music project. Now, I wouldn't say Myakuhaku is a song with groundbreaking lyrics or music, but the whole production just manages to bring out the best of Ningjing's voice. And that honestly is enough to make this one of my favorites of the year.
好きだと伝えることが
Number 4. The Story of the Wind and I by Ado.
風と空と雲と
2025 for Ado feels like a year of side quests. She wrapped up her world tour and released 11 singles, with 9 tie-ins and 2 covers, most of which feel more like what she wants than what she needs. So it's a very interesting collection of songs. I'm very curious to see where her career goes next. She's been to the top with Usewa, Show, and One Piece. So is she content with that? Or does she want to continue her world dominance? I mean, going on the first day seems like a good place to start. Just wish she sang more songs, or like just all of her songs. Either way, I only hope she keeps collaborating with legendary rockers like Bizu and Miyamoto Hiroji, who made the story of Wind and I. The song really is as much about Ado as it is about Miyamoto. The lyricism and her delivery of the words are very different from most of her other songs, where the producers usually gave her full rein on her performance. And if Ado wants to grow as a songwriter and tap into rock music, working with someone on Miyamoto's level is as good a learning opportunity as it gets.
夢と私の物語
Number 3. Sennichikan by Noah.
千日間重ねた記憶千日間守った秘密
Well, after Alibi Game from 2024, it's the second straight year that she's behind my most listened song. If I have to describe Noah's music with a single word, it's gotta be catchy. Her songs are specifically designed to be earworms that are TikTok friendly. Now, I'm far from being a contrarian, but I usually don't like songs that are a blatant attempt at going viral. But with Noah, especially Sennichikan, it's actually got some really good and relatable lyrics. And that's why on any other given day, it could be my favorite song of 2025. In terms of catchiness, Sennichikan from top to bottom is as close to perfection as it gets. And the final line of the chorus is probably my favorite delivery of the year.
会えるのかな真面目さが取り柄かよ
Number 2. Shura by Yorushika.
寂しいと歌えば春よ
You know, there are actors who do it for the fame and money. Not that they don't care about craft, but they found what they're good at, and they're more than happy to stick with what works. Then there are those who like to challenge themselves, switch genres, and are always looking for something different. The same goes for musicians, and Yorushika is definitely one to keep changing and evolving. I don't think there's a right or wrong between those methods, but I always respect those who dare to leave their comfort zone and change, no matter the outcome. And I respect the heck out of Yorushika for how different Shura sounds compared to Say It. My favorite version of Yorushika will forever be their 3 albums from 2017 to 2019. I genuinely believe it's one of the best runs of releases in J-pop history. So do I wish we got more songs out of that era? Yeah, but I also truly appreciate Yorushika for leaving what is statistically their most successful sound. Shura is a song inspired by a poem written by Miyazawa Kenji, Haruto Shura. It's their second song to have taken inspiration from one of Nabona's favorite authors, the first being Mata Saburo, another great song.
言えぬほど僕らを飲み込んでゆけ
Shura is a term originated from Buddhism, representing conflicts between people and within oneself, which is precisely what the song is about. And the lyrics are quite literally poetry. Just such a beautiful, elegant, and classy song in every aspect. It's definitely my song of the year. Actually, how did it not make it to my number 1? Oh yeah, there was this anime movie that came out and completely broke my heart. But before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Contrast by Tomo. I was almost sure the ED for Blue Box would end up in my top 10 back in January 2025. So it's a pleasant surprise that one of the most beautiful songs of the year just barely lost out.
なんでこんなに嬉しいのなんでこんなに悲しいの
Shinya Tension by Lucky Otsan. This is my comfort song of 2025. And honestly, given time, It might stick with me longer than some of the songs ranked above it. Megurupu by Perfume. It's really bittersweet watching Kohaku. AKB48, Orange Range, and Perfume are all part of my childhood. Unfortunately, the sentiment's a bit different with Perfume as they were coming to a temporary end. Definitely teared up watching their past videos during the performance. Soundproof Handle by Inaichi. Band culture may not be as prominent as it used to be, but there's something irreplaceable, a vibe that only a group of nakama can generate, and Soundproof Handle definitely captures that energy. Number 5 by Widescreen Baroque. Widescreen Baroque is a music unit formed in 2025 by Mabe Shuichi, the former guitarist of Sotai Seiriron and a highly respected songwriter. If number 5 is a sign of what is to come, then Widescreen Baroque is surely a name to look out for. And finally, at number 1, Jane Doe by Yonezu Kenshi and Utada Hikaru. Back to why Shoulda didn't end up as my number 1. I mean, ultimately, music is about emotions. And there's not a song from 2025 that evoked more emotion within me than Jane Doe. It brought together two of the biggest names in J-pop history. And they somehow managed to surpass what I would assume most people's expectations were. It's the perfect song for Lisa in every possible way. But it's also, by itself, a masterpiece. There's nothing else to do but tip my head off to Yonezu's songwriting and Utada Hikaru's performance. It may have been slightly overshadowed by statistically the most viral Japanese song of all time, and another Chainsaw Man song, Iris Out. And don't even argue with me about YOASOBI's idol. Iris Out literally broke every possible record. Numbers don't lie. Anyway, Jane Doe may have been slightly overshadowed by Iris Out, but the emotional weight it carries and the perfect duet between Yonezu and Utada Hikaru make it my number 1 song of 2025. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. This has been Cushion. See you next time.